is there anything on the border? No, there's nothing at the border. The entire Belgorod front has died down. So as I mentioned, the Belgorod offensive has failed, and I did mention it was a failure. I think 3 days into the offensive. I think first 2 days, because I already know the first initial punch must be there. The first punch isn't there, so it's clear that the offensive is going to fail. So as a result, after 1 week plus, officially it has ended. So according to the Russians, they say thousands of people have died. So yeah, and so just some conclusions, since this video at this point is only 40 minutes long. Do press the like button, subscribe. Like I said, fap the like button, and fap on the subscribe button. Anyway, some conclusions. So the situation at the terrorist attack over at Moscow definitely, I think, have some morale boost on the Russian forces. They are definitely more angry right now, 100% for sure. This happened during 9/11 for the American forces, which caused the entire United States go into a bloodlust. They wanted revenge, and then this allows the leadership to just pick any targets, and they decided to go for Afghanistan and then Iraq. So in Iraq is definitely totally out of the blue. They claim a weapon of mass destruction. Nothing had happened. So in this kind of bloodlust kind of situation, people can be manipulated very easily. But in terms of this conflict, Russia isn't really doing much else. There are segments of the population, very, very angry. They really want revenge. They want, total decimation of Ukraine, or total decimation of whoever that is, or who's behind it, or they want to kick out all the Tajiks people from Russia, and then they cause the authorities and the leadership, the Muslim leaders in Russia, to all panic and then tell them to come down. Terrorism have no race, no religion. So, which I agree, terrorism actually, is everywhere. It doesn't matter the ethnic group or the religion, because if there is all the excuses, they are being weaponized. It's not the religion, it's not the ethnic. So, in fact, a lot of all this, talk about Islamic terrorism or whatever. The reality is that even with Islamic terrorism or Islamic extremism, the main victims are actually Muslims themselves. The most of the terrorist attack actually happens on Muslim population in Muslim countries. So just want to put that into perspective. So don't get bloodlust, control yourself. don't get excited. Again, if you read any news, you get flared up, you get angry, you get emotional, then you must immediately control yourself, because that is a red flag. There's a high chance that the next thing that comes next in the article, in the report, is going to be a brainwash. It's going to be something that is going to manipulate you into doing something that someone wants. So this is the danger. So just learn to control about it. And and however, this also plays into the Russian forces in the front line. Definitely they will be informed of this entire tragic terror attack, and they will be out for blood. And we immediately see the Russians' expansion of their operations, particularly in the Bakhmut front, where the Russian forces, which have already started this offensive towards Chasiv, with fighting reported from Avdiivka towards Chasiv, and they have also expanded control over at Ivanivsky. So despite I feel that they should have just kept the front line at Ivanivsky, they decided to push out. There is still no corroboration of the capture of the entire of Ivanivsky just yet. We will continue to wait for geolocations and whatnot. But pushing into this area here in Chasiv is extremely hazardous for the Russian forces. So maybe they know what they're doing. The Ukrainian forces can create a lot of defensive games around this area here, because of the number of forests in this region here. The Ukrainians can do very well and make the Russians pay for going on this Chasiv adventure. According to Russian reports, they already start to call this the battle for Chasiv. Personally, I still going to call this Bakhmut offensive, because the front line is Bakhmut, and it's going to part of a major, larger offensive, which is currently also happening over at Klishchiivka and Avdiivka. But generally speaking, this is going to take a long time. I don't believe that the Ukrainian forces at this area here is routed. Definitely, they are going backwards because of the enormous firepower on the Russian side. But the Ukrainians definitely is going to hold the position for now. There's tentatively no indication that the Ukrainian lines will break further than what it is right now. They will definitely hold back, push back, but then they will hold a line around the forest region. That's what I think. Over in the Avdiivka front, the Russian forces have broke out of Tonenki, and as well as towards Semenivka. And these breakouts are very dangerous for the Ukrainians, which is why we are now seeing major counterattacks by the Ukrainians to try to hold back and delay the Russian forces. So we will continue to see how this progress, whether the Russians can pounce on the momentum. Tentatively, it looks like they aren't going to be pouncing on this momentum because there's no frontline changes over the past 24 hours. So looks like the Ukrainian counter-offensive operations at this moment seems to have worked. Is what it's supposed to do. It's unclear what is the situation with the defense lines. That is, the Ukrainians have established as the next line of defense, because this current line, the BOT line, the Berdyanski Olivka Tonenki line, is definitely not something that you can hold for forever. So there must be another line of defense. So I'm not sure what's the construction work for the defense line is like. So we'll wait and see how this develops. And the Russian forces progress over in Novomikhailivka is very sudden, in my opinion. This comes suddenly. We do not, because we are so used to hearing reports of fighting here, but we don't see the front line change. So the Ukrainian forces left with half of Novomikhailivka, and the Russians are pushing north from the north. We'll wait and see. Definitely this area is going to be gone. The Ukrainian forces cannot hold this position, and if this line is gone, means this entire two tree lines is going to be gone. This tree line is still holdable for now. So, and they will be dependent on this line around here, this road and this road here. So yeah, we shall wait and see how this progress. Very interesting situation developing over Novomikhailivka. This comes really sudden for me. And I think the last one is, I think, to look at is the Russian attack towards Makarivka. I think if this really turns out to be like this big arrow, then Staromayorsky will fall without a fight. So we will wait and see. And if Makarivka is captured, Uruzhaine will not be so easy to hold, because they will have fire control on the road, which means that Ukrainians would find it really hard to reinforce Uruzhaine. So, and then the Russians can make further push to the rear of Uruzhaine and then capture Uruzhaine without a fight. So that is also a possibility. But not all these farmlands are difficult to fight in this area here. So we'll wait and let's see how this progress. Otherwise, the other front lines is nothing really much to talk about. So that's it. So this is the summary for the day of 760 for the 24th of March. Do press the like button, subscribe, and yeah, there will be some surprises coming in the next few days. You will see. I don't want to reveal too much first, and I'll see you guys in the next update.